Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. Today is October 30th, 2014. My name's Rex Harris, and as always, it's an honor and a privilege to spend some time with you here today. The spectacles are dirty. Oh yes, by the way, I do work in my underwear, as the t-shirt says, but not all the time. And you wouldn't know right now if I was working in my underwear or not. So with that, I'd like to welcome everybody to today's workshop. What I'm going to be sharing with you today is a strategy that you guys can utilize on IBO Toolbox for the purposes of generating traffic from Google that you can lead through to the lead capture pages for those of you that are looking for ways to generate traffic and perhaps don't have a lot of money to spend on traffic right now. I'm going to show you a couple of cool keyword strategies too that are going to make it easier for you to get traffic from larger volume locations with the right niche audience as well. And you can do that with a lot of the content that's already there. Basically, you just do what I'm going to show you how to do today, and you guys can start driving traffic, okay? So this is really a very simple thing to do, all right? So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn on screen sharing here, and away we go. I'll be checking back on the page here from time to time. So if there's any issues or any questions, just let me know and I will make sure to get them answered. All right. So by God's amazing grace, IBO Toolbox is going to be working perfectly today. All right. So when you log into IBO Toolbox, you're going to create your press releases right here where it says press release. And once you click press release, this is going to open up the panel here where you create your content, where you're going to give it a title here. You're going to put your website link in here, your keywords here, your content here. All right. And once your content is authentic, you click publish, boom, you've got a piece of content ready to go that you can share in the social media that will also get traffic from YouTube, or it can get traffic from YouTube, but primarily you're going to get traffic from Google. The fundamental strategy here is this. Have you ever noticed how a lot of internet marketers will go out and write reviews about companies that they know absolutely nothing about in order to get traffic? How many people have seen that before, where you go, you'll maybe type in the name of a business opportunity out there, and you got a bunch of people out there, you know, that have written reviews, you know, based on what? Based on stuff that they found online just so they can get traffic for their business opportunity. It works. I'm not knocking it, but what if there was a way to reach those people without having to reach them for their business opportunity first? If you could find some other common ground that you have with them that you could write about, that's a win-win for both of you. Let me give you an example of that. All right. If I go over here to YouTube and I do a search here, and we'll start with, just because this is a name that a lot of people are familiar with, Frank Kern. Okay. Frank Kern has created a ton of content for YouTube. He's done interviews with Tony Robbins. He's done promotions. He's done trainings. My personal favorite training from Frank Kern is email marketing training that he did, which is actually located inside the academy. The reason I present this to you today is because if you think about what it is that we teach through the academy, we share with people how to build relationships, correct? But a lot of what people are doing is working to build relationships with other internet marketers, network marketers, affiliate marketers, so on and so forth, that already have so many things going on and want to build their deal. And I'm sure all of you can relate to that. Okay. So what I'm sharing with you is another cool way that you can utilize to connect with people that aren't really associated with any business opportunity, and you can allow your winning personalities to do all the work for you. Because the truth of the matter is this, you know, if you're going to go out here and you're going to build the right relationships, you know, you're going to be more successful than if you are building relationships with people that don't know what they're doing, or just, you know, don't feel like a fit for you, but yet you join anyway. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have done that. You know, I'm sure you can relate, the people that you've joined a business with that you thought you were going to get all this help from and everything else. And the next thing you know, they're your best friend till you swipe the credit card. And once you swipe the credit card, boom, that's it. You never hear from them again. And I'm sure some of you have been there. Okay. So now, obviously, to just go out and target Frank Kern's name as a keyword, for example. Well, Frank Kern is someone who has made a massive name for himself. So even getting traffic for Frank Kern as a keyword could be a little bit challenging. But what about some of the things that might not be, you know, maybe as popular but still effective? Okay. So this is really how we pick our keywords right here. All right, let me show you this. We're probably going to go longer than 30 minutes today, but by the end, you guys will love this. So I type in Frank Kern, and what comes up here is Frank Kern Mass Control, Frank Kern 2014, Frank Kern Core Influence, Frank Kern Tony Robbins, Frank Kern Consulting, List Building, Mass Conversion, Webinar, 4-Day Cash Machine. Okay, these are all things that people have typed into Google or YouTube, in this case, YouTube. Same thing applies. The same thing happens on Google. Okay, they're owned by the same company. If I do this here, you'll see I'm going to get see here, we got Frank Kern Network, Frank Kern Blog, Frank Kern Facebook. Okay, that comes up under his name. Okay, I could go Frank Kern A and see what comes up. Frank Kern Affiliate, Frank Kern Aricent, Frank Kern Amazon, Frank Kern and John Reese. I can go Frank Kern B, C. And what Google and YouTube are telling me here is that everything that's coming up here, these are things that people have already typed in, searching for online. So why not just go ahead and optimize for this stuff? All right. Is it going to be massive traffic from one of these? I don't know. But if I'm going to be writing about Frank Kern, there's a whole lot of stuff that I could write about out here, but not necessarily writing about Frank Kern. Okay. In the spirit of the Academy, writing about what I've learned watching Frank Kern's videos online. Why not write reviews and share with people what I learned and give them a reason to watch the video themselves? And then at the end of your press release, have a call to action where they can get more free training videos and lead them to the Academy, for example. Okay. And as long as you stay consistent with this, all right. And another thing that I'm going to show you today is linking your press releases together. Once you begin sharing these into social media, get some comments flowing and stuff like that, you're going to get traffic through these. And you're not going to get traffic just from Google. You're going to get traffic from here on IBO Toolbox as well. But here's the thing. If you're going to employ this marketing strategy, then you need to start doing it consistently. And once you start doing it every day, because that's the only way it's going to work. Because if there's one thing I've learned over the years, if there's one thing Google does still love when it comes to content, okay, it's fresh, unique content and consistent content, especially on your blogs. Because if you don't have consistent content, you're most likely not getting consistent traffic. And if you're not getting consistent traffic, you're not getting, you know, any love from Google at all, if that makes sense. Google has become a very social driven engine, and the comments and the likes and the sharing, ladies and gentlemen, all that counts, because so much of what they bring up in search now is not so much what people are writing about, it's what other people are talking about. Okay. And if you don't believe me, just do your homework or ask someone else who knows better than me. All right. So with that, I've already don't really want to be redundant, because I've done one with this email marketing video here that we have inside the Academy. This is a fantastic video. Another one of my favorite videos is this video here, with Tony Robbins, Frank Kern, and John Reese. Okay, so I'll use this as an example. All right, so I'm going to bring this video up. I'm going to come down here to share. I'm going to go to embed, and I'm going to grab the object code out of here. All right, when you're copying and pasting videos from YouTube, you are always going to have the option. Well, I can't say always, because you don't always have the option. For some reason, there's some times where you upload a video and you just don't have that option, and I don't know why. All right. But in most cases, you're going to have the option to use what's known as the frame source code or the old embed code. And when you're doing the press releases on IBO Toolbox, you always want to use the old embed code. All right. And the 560 by 315 standard setting here is fantastic. And you want to make sure that show video title and player actions counts, because all of this counts as keywords too. Okay. So I'm going to grab a copy of this, and I'm going to go back to IBO Toolbox. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to locate this red button here that says insert video. I'm going to paste the video here. I'm going to click OK. I'm then going to go over here and center that video. And then I'm going to start my content here. Okay. Now, it may be prudent to actually put a little bit of content or maybe a subheader with some keywords over that as well. All right. You don't want to overdo it, but you know, I know that when it comes to title tags, that you know, Google looks favorably on those. So if you had your press release title here and then maybe a subtitle there, that could be very beneficial. But I always put the video in first. Okay, just so that's done. Now, the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize which keywords here that I want to focus on. All right. Obviously, we've got the names of these guys here that we want to associate with. But then again, I also want to look at some of the other things that are coming up here. Whoops, sorry about that, wrong frame. Okay, that also show up with their name. Okay, Frank Kern Consulting, maybe Frank Kern Email Marketing. Okay, may come up in there. So I want to incorporate this. All right. Frank Kern, John Reese comes up. People have actually typed that in. Frank Kern and Tony Robbins comes up. So you guys can see where this can get a little powerful. All right. So I'm going to simply, because I've watched this video more times than I can count. All right. And I have. I'm sure I've watched this video a dozen plus times. I've watched it many times. So I will say 3 things you can learn from Tony Robbins, Frank Kern, and John Reese. Okay. 3 things you can, 3 things you can learn from Tony Robbins, Frank Kern, and John Reese. Okay. Wherever it is that I want to direct traffic to from this press release, this is where that's going to go. So if one of my objectives here is to lead people to a lead capture page, I can put that here. Okay. That would be an option. So I would, in this case, what I'll do is go back to the Academy, grab my referral link. Well, that's the wrong one for the lead capture page. And I get leads like this, ladies and gentlemen, every day that I don't even have to buy traffic for. They just keep coming and keep coming and keep coming the more content you post. And again, if you don't believe me, ask Michelle Grigsby. She's mastered this. Okay. So what I want to focus on here for keywords are Frank Kern, Tony Robbins, and John Reese for now. As I write this, this is going to change. Okay. So I'm just going to write content here from the heart about this video, what I learned from it. Okay. The first time I watched this video, it brought me to tears. True story. All right. You know, I spent years struggling to figure things out on my own as an online marketer. But, you know, I spent years struggling to figure things out on my own as an online marketer. But this video put some things into perspective for me. By helping me understand the behavior of both myself and others. All right. That's opening up and being vulnerable. And opening up and being vulnerable, ladies and gentlemen, is going to win you favor with people in your content. All right. And let me give you an example of this. Okay. One of my new heroes here. Marcus Lemonis. How many people know who Marcus Lemonis is? Marcus Lemonis is the guy from The Profit, the TV show on CNBC that every entrepreneur should be watching every time it's on, in my opinion. Okay. There was a video here that I watched yesterday. I actually shared this on Facebook. Now, here is a guy who actually goes from struggling business to struggling business in the world of brick and mortar. And, you know, if he sees the potential to turn a profit with them, he basically becomes, you know, partners with them at some level, buys a percentage of the business, and turns these businesses around based on a 3-step procedure he follows that he calls people, product, and process. Okay, it's what actually we're writing the new curriculum and the new business plan for the academy based on this man's training right here. Okay, so the reason I wanted to share this with you is because of the fact that in this video right here, if you haven't already seen it, he becomes very vulnerable and he talks about that very thing in many of his videos from back in the day when he was becoming, you know, an entrepreneur and going through the challenges that he faced. All right. So being vulnerable and sharing with people from your heart, hey, this is what really happened. This is going to help you secure some more trust with the people that you're working to reach, if that makes sense. Okay. So we'll go back to the paragraph here. The first time I watched this video, it brought me to tears. I spent years struggling to figure things out on my own as an online marketer, but this video put some things into perspective by helping me understand the behavior of both myself and others. Okay. So just like that. Okay. I'm gonna give just a little bit of history here because there's a keyword that I want to focus on here. My first introduction. See what I'm doing here, guys? I'm just sharing my day with people. I'm not trying to do anything else than just share some real stuff with people and know that there's going to be a certain percentage of people that connect to this. My first introduction to Frank Kern came about 8 years ago. Actually, I don't want to use it. 8 years ago, when he released a product called Mass Control. Okay. Why did I say that? All right. Well, let's go back to Google here for a second. When I typed in Frank Kern here, you see what came up just based on his name. Now, if we go back to YouTube, look what comes up here on YouTube. A little bit different. Frank Kern Mass Control was the first thing that came up here on YouTube. And you'll see here that if I go one step further and click M, guess what comes up? Frank Kern Mass Control PDF. Okay. So I'm curious if, is that really a PDF that's there? Because if it is, guess what? Oh, look, now I've got some cool stuff to link to on my press release as well. Okay, so that's why I wanted to sneak the keyword mass control in there. All right. So I'm actually going to change this from Frank Kern to Frank Kern Mass Control, because I'm sure that the search volume for that is less, but I'm also confident that because of the fact the search volume is less, it's going to be easier for me to get traffic through. Does that make sense? Okay. This SEO strategy used to be called what we called it, low-hanging fruit. But here's the thing: if you're going to be creating content every day and linking your content together, you don't have to go. I mean, wouldn't you rather have some quality traffic now than waiting to see if you ever get quality traffic from a big keyword? Okay, this is definitely a quantity over. That's not really. I can't say quality, but it's certainly, when it comes to your content, using, more content to get the traffic that you want versus less, by maybe focusing on some keywords that, are going to be easier for you to get traffic from. All right. Just as an example. So the first time I watched this video, it brought me to tears. I spent years struggling to figure things out on my own as an online marketer, but this video put some things into perspective by helping me understand the behavior of both myself and others. My first introduction to Frank Kern came about 8 years ago when he released a product called Mass Control. I remember seeing Frank Kern's Mass Control. Okay, now that's the only time I'm going to do that. I don't want to go carried away by putting it in every paragraph. All right, this is the only time I'm going to do that. Remember Frank Kern's Mass Control from my time on MySpace. Okay, that's where I learned about Mass Control, was a banner advertisement on MySpace. Do you remember those banners, those banner ads that used to sit at the top of the MySpace header? That's, and I'll leave it at that. Okay, so now I've already got 2 paragraphs here. And one of the things I'm going to start doing now is I'm going to start decorating. And what I mean by decorating, first and foremost, is I'm going to go back here and make sure that everything's spelled correctly, because otherwise it's a waste of time. All right. There's certain things that I want to call out here. Obviously, I want to call out the name of Frank Kern. Okay. I want to call this out here. Okay. And just bold them, because that's keywords. Like, again, I'm not going to go crazy with that, but I definitely want to do that, because that's more indicator to the web crawlers that, hey, if you find that my content's worthy, please give me traffic from this. Okay. So, all right. So let's see where else we're at here. Let's see. I was, Tony Robbins is another one of the people who has inspired me over the years. One of my favorite videos from Tony is the difference between a winner and a loser. Okay, true story. I love that video. It's my favorite Tony Robbins video of all time. So just for giggles, then I'm going to go back over here to Google, And I'm going to type in the difference a winner and a loser. And lo and behold, look what comes up. Okay. That is a great long tail key phrase that I can use here. Okay. Michelle and Donna talked about those this week on their last workshop. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. And yes, I do watch those workshops and I learn things. And then I go out and I test them. So I'm going to go back here. And I'm kind of getting already into this. I don't want to write a book. So I'm going to drop to John Reese. Like I said, this changes as I go. Frank Kern, Mass Control, Tony Robbins. Let me see. I'm actually going to go the difference between a winner and a loser. And then I want to see if people are, I'm sure that they are. Tony Robbins and Frank Kern, that comes up on YouTube. Tony Robbins and Frank. Oh, look, they're searching for it on Google too. And I'll bet what comes up, there it is right there. Okay. So we're going to go Frank Kern, Mass Control, the difference between a winner and a loser, and Tony Robbins and Frank Kern as our keywords. All right. Little bit different, a strategy here. All right. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to bold the difference between a winner and a loser. And I'm going to bold Tony Robbins. All right. Just like that. I can also use underlines and italics to call out keywords as well. But the way that I was taught was to bold, and that's always worked for me. So that's what I stick to. And then any other highlights I make in there would just be my own, you know, if I wanted to call some things out, and sometimes I do. So Tony Robbins is another one of the people who has inspired me over the years. One of my favorite videos from Tony is the difference between a winner and a loser. And something else that I can do that's cool for people here. I can go to that actual video, and you better believe I'm going to be blogging about Marcus Lemonis too. Okay. I can go here. Would preferably like to find one that doesn't have ads, but that's probably easier said than done in today's day and age. So we'll just go over here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a hyperlink for this here by highlighting over it, going up here and finding this little globe and chain link. Okay. Paste. Try that again. All right. So you're going to be obstinate. Let's try it again. Voila. Then I'm going to click OK. All right. Just like that. That's a good quality link from my content. Okay. Believe me, when those web crawlers come, they follow these links. And if they see that you're associated with content, you know, I'm not going to link to this same video here. I mean, that would be redundant. Okay. And that might even get me in trouble with YouTube. But I mean, to have this video here and a link to another video here, that's two completely different pieces of content. Now I'm giving people some value. You know, I didn't have to make these videos. I didn't have to write them. All I've got to do is go out there and show people where to find the information. Remember, guys, being professional pointers. Remember that? We've talked about that in the past. So now I need to come up with those three things that I talked about in these videos, which is going to encourage people to watch those videos. Okay. Here are the three things I learned from this video that have helped me become more successful as a home business owner. They will work for you to if you apply them. Okay. And now I'm going to do some bullet points. Okay. Bullet point number 1. Your subconscious mind has the power to move mountains. Tony Robbins demonstrates that through an exercise he does with Frank. How many times did I use his name? I've already used it twice. With Frank, and I'm going to drop John's full name in here, with Frank and John Reese. No, in this video, right? And that's really all I need to say. I'm not going to rewrite everything that was said in there. You want to learn it, go up here and watch it. Do yourself a favor. Okay, so your subconscious mind has the power to move mountains. Tony Robbins demonstrates that through an exercise he does with Frank Kern and John Reese in this video. That's all I need to say. You'll notice, guys, my paragraphs, 3 to 4 lines at the most. All right, keep it value-packed, simple, and don't, I mean, I used to like over talk, and sometimes I still do. I catch myself on, hangouts and workshops, sometimes rambling on, and that's why, I focus on improving upon that all the time, because sometimes I do get carried away. A lot of times that's just, the heart of the matter, where I'm trying to give people something, but nonetheless, sometimes, even though I'm trying to do, I'm trying to give something, if I'm being an annoying pain in, somebody's 4th point of contact, well, I want to stop doing that. Okay. Now, second bullet point. When you are ready to step into the life you want, burn all bridges. Okay, burn all bridges. No, I mean, yeah, no plan B. I realize that's easier said than done, but I took the step of faith on this tip, and it worked for me. Okay, just like that. Wonder if I can get that to double space. Yeah, I can. Good. I don't like my bullet points stacked up. I always want to try to keep enough white space there to make it easier on the reader. All right. Follow good punctuation. Follow good grammar. Okay. Write this as though you were a content creating professional. Follow the outline I'm showing you guys today. This is really simple. You'll notice I didn't go up here and change any fonts or try to make this fancy. I'm just focusing on the content, and when it's all said and done, I'll go back and redecorate to call out a couple of key points, but that will be it. All right. The next thing that I'm going to see here, let me see, subconscious, that exercise was in there, and then the story about burning the bridges, and then okay, you can't, let me see, don't, what am I going to say? You can't, don't waste time focusing on people who will most likely never do anything for themselves. What we do is business, not babysitting. All right, and I'm going to leave it at that. All right, so Just like that. Let me see. I believe I've got to have a total of, is it 250 words, I think? And I've got 236. So, all right, first time I watched this video, it brought me to tears. I spent years struggling to figure things out on my own as an online marketer, but this video put some things into perspective by helping me understand the behavior of both myself and others. First introduction to Frank Kern came about 8 years ago when he released a product called Mass Control. I remember Frank Kern's Mass Control from the time on MySpace. Now, remember this report that I opened up over here? 10 things I learned from Frank Kern's Mass Control launch. Watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a copy of this. Actually, I'm going to grab a copy of this first. No, actually, I'm going to grab a copy of this first. Okay. I'm going to go back here. Okay. If you've never done the research, let me see, if you're not already a fan or follower of Frank Kern, his training is priceless. If you know where to look, you can find a lot of it online for free. And then I'm going to take, for example, right? Then I'm going to go grab the title here, 10 Things I Learned from Frank Kern's Mass Control Launch. I'm actually going to put that in text format first, or it's going to screw up my HTML. A lot of times if you try to copy directly from Google here or anything like this, and then you try to paste it over here, it's going to mess it up in here. All right. What I do is anytime that I'm copying anything from the web and I'm going to post it here, when I'm creating content, I always put it in Notepad first and turn it into simple text before I use it. All right. Then I'll put it in here. You'll see then I get exactly what I want. For example, is a PDF that outlines so much of the value shared in this course. Okay, as I recall, as I recall, okay, and don't quote me, I believe it sold for, and I'm going to put $2,000. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to go $2,000. $1,000 time of launch. All right. So now here's more value that I can share. And I'm just going to come back. I'm going to highlight this. Paste. Click OK. So just like this, now I've got a great piece of content, and now I can go ahead and wrap it up. All right, I've got the keywords that I wanted there, the difference between a winner or a loser. I got that in there. Tony Robbins and Frank Kern. Okay, so wrapping up this interview with, I'm going to go John Reese again. Okay, as I want to focus on that key phrase, Tony Robbins and Frank Kern. Okay, I don't want any commas in there. All right, I'm actually going to bold that. Bold. Okay, will answer many of the questions you have about converting prospects, converting prospects into sign-ups and sales. This interview down, well, converting sign-ups and sales. Okay. I'm going to say enjoy Rex. And then down here, to go back to the Academy, and I'm going to leave a link to the Hangout page. Okay. I probably could even put an HTML banner in there, but I'm not going to do that. Enjoy Rex. Oh, I'll just say, click here for access to more high value training videos. All right. And then I'm going to put a link here to the Hangouts page. All right. Now, the other thing that you can do too is if you're following this strategy here and you begin doing this, because now when the next press release I write, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start linking back to the press release previous. I'm going to start stringing these together, okay, and mixing up my links a little bit. So next time this, next from here on out with this strategy, I will always have a link that leads back to the last press release I wrote, because I'm going to be doing a whole series of these, targeting anybody I can out there. Marcus Lemonis, Tony Robbins, Frank Kern, John Reese, writing about what I'm learning. That's it. I mean, what easier way can there be for you to create content than to just watch a video and write about it? Write about your experience with it. When I first watched this, I mean, and this is the case. If you feel like this, say this. I'll be honest with you. When I first watched this video, I thought it was hokey. And I remember the word that came to my mind was bull cuss. I really thought this whole thing was just bull cuss, and that everybody that thought they could, make money from home was crazy. Okay. After watching this video, here's what I learned. You guys see, I mean, it's really simple to communicate. Just be real about what's going on with you. All right. Don't be negative. Okay. Turn every negative into a positive. Don't go out there and say, I hate this and so sucks and this is a scam. Don't be negative. All right. If you want to be negative, there's more than enough opportunity to do that on Facebook. Don't be negative. Don't be negative in your content. All right. So once I'm all done here, I'm going to go back and give it a last minute decorate and proofread. First time I watched this video, it brought me to tears. I spent years struggling to figure things out on my own as an online marketer. But this video put some things into perspective by helping me understand the behavior of both myself and others. Okay. I'm going to call this out. Okay. I'm going to italicize it. And I may even underline it. Okay. This video put some things into perspective. All right. And I'm probably going to, just to get people's eyes focused on it, started off with a splash of yellow too. Okay. This video put some things into perspective by helping me understand the behavior of both myself and others. My first introduction to Frank Kern came about 8 years ago when he released a product called Mass Control. I've already got Mass Control bolded there, so I'm not going to worry about it again. I remember Frank Kern's Mass Control from my time on MySpace. Do you remember those banner ads that used to sit on top of the MySpace header? What am I doing there? I'm just, bringing people into the content. Oh yeah, I do remember that. I remember those. Okay. Again, another way to connect. All right. Tony Robbins is another one of those people who has inspired me over the years. One of my favorite videos from Tony is the difference between a winner and a loser. Okay. I promise people three things I learned from this video. Okay. I'm going to underline that. And then I'm going to underline they will work for you too. Three things I learned from this video. They will work for you too. Your subconscious mind has the power to move mountains. Tony Robbins demonstrates that through an exercise. Your subconscious mind has power. Demonstrates that through an exercise. All right. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm just making it easier for the people that come here and skim to get the information that they're looking for. I'm just giving the skimmers the opportunity to skim. And to call that out even a little bit more, I'll even go up and maybe change the font color. Okay, to even, I mean, just a different shade, a different darker shade. Maybe, whoops, don't want to do that. Undo. Why did it change the font? Probably, I'm going to try that one more time. It changed the font again. Never mind, disregard that. They still don't have this thing fixed. I tell you what, I'll just put it out there to the universe. I would really love to own IBO Toolbox. I would do some great things with this website. When you are ready to step into the life you want, burn all bridges, no plan B. Okay. I'm going to actually change that because it doesn't make sense to say, be ready to step into the life you want, burn all bridges, no plan B, never look back. Okay. Took a step of faith. All right. Took a step of faith. Okay. Burn all bridges type of thing. Don't waste time focusing on people who will never do anything. All right. What we do is business, not babysitting. I think I'd probably just leave that one like it is. If you're not ready, or if you're not already a fan or follower of Frank Kern, his training is priceless. If you know where to look, you can find a lot of it online for free. Okay. Frank Kern. Okay. I've already bolded that once up there, so I'm going to underline it there. Frank Kern training. I'm actually going to bold that. Training is priceless. Okay. Online for free. Highlight. See how I call that out? All right. For example, that can stay as it is. 10 things I learned from Frank Kern's Mass Control launches a PDF that outlines so much of the value shared in this course. As I recall, and don't quote me, I believe it sold for over $2,000. And I think that's what it was. The interview with John Reese on Frank Kern's will answer many of the questions you have about what? Converting prospects into signups and sales. Oh, yeah. Who wants to learn that? How about everybody? Okay. So there you have it. I'm actually going to change that. That's too much bold text there. I'll just do a italicize and underline. Click here for access to more high value training videos. I'm just I don't like that. I'm going to change that completely. I just don't like it. What am I going to do there? I definitely want to lead that to somewhere. Let's try a little bit. Maybe instead of leading it there, we'll lead them to a capture page. Let's see here. $100 to $500 daily using simple landing pages. Let's do that. $100 to $500 daily using dollars daily using simple landing pages. I'm going to do that instead. Like the email address. All right, and we'll go back here. Click OK. Now we're cooking. All right, so the next thing I do is down here, you're going to see I have a design tab and an HTML tab. I'm going to click the HTML tab. I'm going to do a right click on my mouse, select all, right click again, copy, open up Notepad, and paste a backup copy in the event that something should go hinky with this when I post it. Maybe my browser crashes, maybe my internet goes out, maybe the power goes off, or maybe I just do something wrong and mess up my press release. Now I got a backup copy. All right. So I don't have to go back and rewrite the whole thing. So now I go down here and I click content is authentic, IBO rules check, publish. And if I scroll back up, I'm going to see this little wheel spinny thing there. I'm going to click continue. Okay. Now, if I go back to the main page of IBO Toolbox, I can find my press release usually right here. All right. I can also find it under me only or recent PRs. So now if I click view press release, there we have it, just like that. Beautiful, squeaky clean piece of content that's optimized to get me some cool traffic from some unique places, you know, in Google and the social media. Obviously, the next step is going to be sharing this. So one of the first things that I'm going to do here, all right, and this is important, your content is going to perform better when people are leaving comments here. So the one thing I want to do before I start doing a whole lot of social media sharing, okay, is I want to go out and hit up some friends to come over here and leave a comment for me so I can get some dialogue going here. All right. And seeing all we've got all you wonderful people watching here right now. Okay. I'm going to press that in there. And let me see who's here. We got Dale, we got Marvin, we got Cass, Ralph Dooley's here, Laura. If you guys would all jump over there real quick and leave comments on there so I can demonstrate the next part, that would be fantastic. And I should be able to wrap this up in an hour's time. I don't grab a bunch of keywords and paste many instead of one at a time because too many, it's not prudent. Go after stuff, I go after specific stuff and I get results that way. I don't try to optimize for a billion keywords. Okay. That's just me. But, you know, again, if you've, you know, questions about blogging and content and stuff, ask Laura, ask Donna, ask Michelle Grigsby. Those ladies there can answer those questions for you probably better than I can right now because they're a little bit more dialed into the whole content scene. I'm just kind of getting back into it. All right. So now I'll go back here and refresh and see who has left me a comment. Oh, gracias. You can always count on Laura. Thank you, Laura. So now what I'm going to do is each time somebody leaves a comment here, I reply back to them. Hi, Laura. Thanks. You know, thanks for checking it out. Yeah, I mean, there's always more to learn, and Frank and Tony are great guys to learn from. I'm surprised there's so much free stuff out there. You can, or I'm surprised there's so much free stuff you can access through Google and YouTube. No, it's stuff I would have paid money for. So I'll submit the comment, and then I always click close comments. Otherwise, it's not going to work. All right. Can I get one more person to jump over here and leave a comment real quick so I can continue? That would be awesome. One more person, if you could jump over there real quick and leave a comment. For those of you that are in IBO Toolbox, you will have to be logged in to do that. Okay. You can also leave comments as logged in on Facebook. Okay. The reason I want to get some dialogue and some commenting going here now is because the next thing I'm going to do is going to let the search engines know that I just posted new content. Okay. I use a resource called pingler.com. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put the search engines on notice that I just created new content. All right. And my title for this ping is going to be the keyword that I want to optimize for. In this case, it's going to be Frank Kern and Tony Robbins. I'm going to paste the URL here. I'm going to select the best possible categories. Business, I believe I can select from 3 here now. Business, marketing, and I got wellness, website, tools, sports and fitness, shopping, social networks, religion and spirituality, real estate, publishing, politics, outdoors, other, office, news, music and video, law, internet, and online. We'll probably go with I don't know about information, health, beauty, financial services. No, we'll just go what we got there. We got business, art, automotive, acting. I'll just go with tips and tricks. All right. Then to reveal the security code here, I got to click play. And it's probably going to reveal a security code or play a video or something that's got the security code in it. Oh, there's a security code. It's reap what you sow. Isn't that the truth? I'm going to click ping. And now I'm going out and putting the search engines on notice. Primarily Google is what Pingler works with, that I've got new content here that I would like to show up on the front pages of Google. All right. So Justina also, oh, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Okay. Always want to go back and like these and reply to these because all of this is going to help. All right. Great video. Thanks for sharing. I've learned a lot from Tony as well. Thanks. Thanks for commenting, Dale. Reply. Not everything has to be formal. Thanks so much, Rex. You always provide so much value. I'll check out Frank Kern's free training. It's so worth it. Okay, so worth it. So much of it's free. Thanks for sharing this info. I've watched the video and can understand how you felt when you first watched it. I will certainly read on all these guys. You know, okay, reply. Yeah, I mean, there you can learn so much from all 3 of them. Thanks for commenting and sharing. Okay, so now, all right, as these web crawlers come here and look at this, they're going to see this active live content and traffic coming through my blog. You'll see just since I posted this, my visitor count has already gone up. Okay, that's traffic coming from the people that I asked to come over here, people that from IBO that are going to come over here and read this, and take into consideration that each time somebody comments here, this kicks your press release back to the top of the pecking order here on the main page. Okay, now the main page moves fast, but you can see it's right there. Okay, all right, it's going to be here most likely. There it is right there, recent PRs. All right, so now that we have that, here's a little hidden jewel that a lot of people don't know about IBO Toolbox. IBO Toolbox is directly connected to a resource called homebizblogs.com. And 9 times out of 10, I have had a couple of instances where for whatever reason it didn't post here. But guess what? Your PR always shows up here as well. And if you click on this, guess what this does? It gives you another link that look at how optimized and rich it is with those keywords. How cool is that? Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a copy of this. All right, I'm going to go back to Pingler once this one's done, and I'm going to do it again. Okay, but now I'm going to do it for this second piece of content. All right, that leads back to my press release and all that good stuff. All right, one more link that I have out there that leads back to me. So in this case, I'm going to put the title here, but because of the, it's it's 3 things you can learn from Tony Robbins and Frank Kern. So in this case, I'm going to do the same thing again. Frank Kern and Tony Robbins. All right. Business, marketing, and what was the other one that we used there? Tips and tricks. Please enter the word strength in Ping. And there I go again. Starting the Ping process. Okay. But as far as content I'm actually going to share, this is what I'm going to share here. Okay. This is what I'm going to share here. All right. I can go over here. Generally, there are social sharing buttons here, but for whatever reason, I don't know why, they haven't been working on Google Chrome in forever. So now I could go tweet this. I can go share it on Google Plus. Okay, and start doing myself some favors here. Just as an example. Twitter. Share it here, wherever. Okay. 3 things you can learn from Frank Kern and Tony Robbins about generating referral business right now. Put the link. Okay. And then a couple of hashtags in here. I'll probably put the MLM hashtag in there. You guys notice that this is starting to pop up, just like Google starting to pop up different keywords. I've only got 7 characters left. So I'm going to change that to home. Nothing comes up for home business. So I'll put probably marketing. I'll just leave it at marketing. Then I'll click tweet. Okay. I can go share these on Pinterest. I can share them in so many different places, guys. It's all going to help me get traffic to this stuff. And the more traffic I get, the more people comment, the more that they share, the more it pushes it back to the front pages of IBO Toolbox, where I get even more traffic. All right. And then the grand finale, when it's all said and done, and I'm not going to take the time to do this because we've already gone an hour. When you put new content out, mail your list about it. Let them know. Okay. Mail your list. That's going to get you more traffic. I've got a ton of people on my list that are already, on IBO Toolbox. So it's going to be easy for me to get comments there. Okay. Make sense? So with that, we will go ahead and wrap up for today. I want to thank everybody for coming on out here and spending some time with us. My name is Rex Harris, and yes, sometimes I do work in my underwear. Join us again tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, for all of you pro and gold members of the Academy. We've got our weekly roundtable tonight where we're going to be discussing the new curriculum and business plan for the Academy based on what we've been learning from Marcus Lemonis and then talking with Ricardo. We've also got something new that we're going to talk about tonight. For those of you that are pro members, we're going to show you guys we're not going to show you guys. We're going to give you a way to leverage the academy to get signups in your business. And we'll be sharing that with you this evening. So if you're not already a pro member of the academy, make sure that you get that taken care of. And if you're not a member of the academy at all and you're here as a visitor today, just get back with the person that referred you here, and they'll be more than happy to show you how to get started. So have a great afternoon. God bless you. We'll see you guys tonight at 8:30. Bye for now.